The most unforgettable execution scenes in history are sometimes remembered by the last words of those who face death. The words spoken by the executed not only reflect the emotion of the moment, but also highlight the dramatic side of historical events. Today, we will take a closer look at the last words of some famous executioners and the executed from the dark side of history. French Queen Marie Antoinette was one of the most symbolic figures of the French Revolution. In 1793, the Queen was sent to the guillotine by revolutionaries. While she symbolized treason in the eyes of the public, she did not lose her elegance even in her last moments. On that day, while walking towards the guillotine and climbing the stairs, she accidentally stepped on the executioner's foot. With a deep sigh and courtesy, she said, "I am sorry, sir. I did not mean to trouble you." That moment was the struggle of a queen, facing the cold reality of death to remain human one last time, preserving her grace. The executioners offered their final wishes. "Your Majesty, we beg your forgiveness." Without showing any sign of anger, Marie Antoinette replied, "For now I forgive you with all my heart. You will bring an end to my suffering," showing her grace for the last time. And then, step by step, she walked towards her death. Another famous figure was Robert Childers. Every execution has a story, but his words carry a different meaning compared to others. "Children, this will be easier this way," he had said. Here, an executioner, accustomed to the nearness of death, spoke this line to a person sentenced to death, showing his strength and courage. Indeed, his words were a mixture of power and honor. The moment of death was shaped by the individual's confidence in themselves. His last words reminded many how one could remain honorable even in the face of death. St. Thomas More was another historical figure executed under the reign of Henry VIII. More had defended the Catholic faith and opposed the king's sovereignty. Before being sentenced to death in 1535, as the executioner raised his axe, St. Thomas More asked him to stop for a moment. As the executioner looked at him in surprise, More calmly said, "Wait a minute, let me fix my beard first." This moment was not just a personal preparation, but the final act of a man defending his faith. He then turned to the executioner and said, "I did not upset the king. Do not worry." More's words symbolized a life given for faith and the courage of a man. That moment was a powerful lesson in how a person faces death. Then, the axe fell, and St. Thomas More, with a noble faith, accepted his death. These figures from different periods and places in history, even in their final moments, held on to their beliefs, honor, and elegance. The last words of the executioners not only mark the moment of death, but also reveal the personalities of these individuals, their stance, and how they passed into history. Even on the verge of death, how people express themselves has not only marked their courage, but also left a lasting imprint on history. Each last word tells us about the person's outlook on life, ideals, and inner strength. Though they faced death, they found the courage to take their place in the stage of history. And today, these words still echo in our ears, reminding us of how one can be honorable even in their most difficult moments.